Women with body count 8 plus, for example, that has kids with partner 9 is less likely to be attached to the new mate, less likely to care well for child because they're desensitized to a sex connection.
What?
I don't.
But what does
I'm
that
sorry,
have to do
that's
with
complete
child?
bullshit.
If you're having children with someone, you're gonna have to be 100% sure that you love him, or at least that you guys can create a child together.
Yeah. And even then, that doesn't mean if you're not fully attached to that like person, that doesn't mean that you're less likely to take care for the child.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
the
that's
maternal
anything to do with your
child.
blood.
That's like connection. You gave birth
Yeah.
to that child. You're gonna have some sort of
like you were saying, that paternal instinct, that biology for men is super strong. That maternal instinct for women is extremely strong in that sense.
Where are you getting these facts from, Steven?
yeah. Check your sources.
Yeah, read a textbook.
So the part where he says is less likely to be attached to the new mate, that is true. That is true. So if you've had more partners, it's harder for you to pair bond with that person. They've done studies on it.
That makes sense.
They've done studies. I mean, if you've had, for example, 40 partners, I mean, that's most people don't have, like, most people haven't had 40 boyfriends or 40 girlfriends. But the more partners you have, typically, like, and Andrew Tate actually said this in the first one, like, really your first, second, or third relationship, that's like long-term relationship, that's probably going to be the person that you really like had the strongest thing for. You're really in love with them. You get your heart broken. You start getting jaded, break up, cheating, and then you start getting a bit more guarded. And so I do think those first few love relationships are probably going to be the ones where you have the strongest bond with that person. I could be wrong.
No, I actually think that's true. Actually, I can agree on that.
They always say your first love
is the hardest or something like that,
that
right?
You like always,
yeah, so I think maybe
or the
that's
first
a little
person
bit.
You like, yeah.
That's a little bit what they're getting to, but they have done studies. I think the CDC did a study where they looked at married couples and amongst couples that were more promiscuous, or one of the partners were more promiscuous, or even just on the individual level, they polled both men and women. If the person was more promiscuous and had more premarital partners, they were more likely to report marriage dissatisfaction, more likely to be divorced, more likely to get divorced. So, word. I think that's where Steven is going with that.
Okay. I mean, I definitely agree on the point where, like, the first couple of people that you're first with, you definitely have, like, an unexplainable, stronger connection to. I think there definitely is truth to that. 'Cause, you know, it's like your very first experiences. It's experiencing it for the first time, so it's probably most likely going to be the most memorable. And, like, feeling that feeling for the first time.
Sure.
And you're typically a lot younger too, because it is one of your first experiences.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a factor in it too.
Yeah.
I feel like I also find myself like comparing myself how I was mentally, like, in previous relationships, and like what I'm mentally capable of now in relationships. So I feel like that's like really true.
Yeah.
You're like capable of less mentally.
Yeah, and just to add to, I think, Stephen Krug's point, another thing, so you have relationship satisfaction, relationship stability, so if you're not married, let's just say your chance of breakup, but if you are married, there's a higher chance of divorce if one or both partners had a promiscuous past, and then it also increases the likelihood of cheating and infidelity. If someone has a promiscuous past, they're more likely to cheat.
I think maybe it has to do with the fact that that person has, like, more options and people that they can go back to. So I think that there might be correlation with that.
There is a saying that goes, like, men are only as faithful as their options.
Yeah.
That is a saying.
Yeah.
So if a guy's got a bunch of options, he's going to exercise them, you know?
Exactly. Like, and I think that's true. It's like if a person has more options, they're more likely to cheat 'cause they have more opportunities coming at them.
Word.
Word.
So I want to go back. Actually, hold on. We got a super chat coming in. Oh, is this a super chat? Oh, this might have just been an accidental posting on there. Well, Guillermo, we're going to give it to you. Guillermo Fonseca with the $0 super chat. Is your boyfriend posting you on their Instagram a make it or break it? My fiance dipped out on me because I wouldn't post her enough.
Is it hurting him to like post her? Like,
Yeah, like why not?
why?
Yeah.
Like, what do you get out of like just like not posting her? Like, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and if she asks, like, why do you care
Like,
that
if
much
you're
not to post?
Yeah, if you're in a relationship with your girl and like you want to show her off to everyone.
Maybe he's a bit more discreet.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
That's fair.
There's
but if she
definitely
asks
girls.
you, like,
I definitely girls on the Instagram. Like, you gotta be pretty serious with a guy if you're gonna post a guy
yeah, definitely.
on your
yeah.
Instagram, and it's kind of clear that you know. So, I can see the hesitation. I guess from both sides.
But if he's
But if
like
you're dating-
constantly like on his Instagram and everything, and he's just going about life, like just throw in your fiance, I guess.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel like if he
Yeah.
doesn't post anything, then maybe it's
Yeah.
okay. But like if he's like posting all the time or like
Yeah.
pretty normally
active.
and like doesn't post you or like post things that you do but not with you,
I would think
kinda
like
weird.
there's something wrong with
Yeah.
me, and be
Yeah.
like, why are you like
Do
hiding
not
me?
want
If it
anyone to
depends,
see.
yeah, if he's posting stories and all this stuff on Instagram all the time, then I get hurt. But if he
Yeah.
doesn't do it, then I'm like,
Then
okay.
it's fine, yeah.
If he's like not active, like a ghost on social
Yeah.
media, I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it.
all right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, to bring it back to body count, which initially we were talking about age gap, but I think point blank, broadly speaking, men don't want to date women with a promiscuous past. And he might hook up with you, but most men are probably, if he knows that you've been the town bicycle, he's not going to take you seriously. And I already talked about one of the reasons. There's the biological evolutionary thing, like, so that's a factor. Paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is pretty much the biggest L a guy can take. Like
Yeah.
That's actually so true. I
you're
agree.
raising a kid that you think is yours,
That would
but
be
it's
messed
not.
up.
So not only have you just found out that your partner was cheating on you, infidelity, but also this child that assume you love, how's that? And then your whole relationship is washed and it's all over, and then it's a whole fucking mess. So yeah, paternity fraud's a big one. And it's a real fear for men. Like that's a real fear. And so it's kind of just ingrained in us evolutionarily. And yeah, we should try to circle back to the age gap stuff. So it seems pretty resounding that everyone here was like, hey, age gap doesn't matter. Or no, it does. It is weird.
Yeah.
It is weird.
It can be weird.
Can be weird. Okay. Question. So I was dating a 45-year-old woman. I'm 33. I'm 33. I'm a dinosaur. Old man. I was dating a 45-year-old woman. Chat. She wasn't a single mom. She didn't have kids. She's still a babe. Okay, she was a babe. Is that too much of an age gap? It's 12 years.
Were you like?
Oh, why don't we start with Gabby?
Yeah.
Gabby's dying to give her take.
I don't think that's like there's anything wrong with that. If you said 33 and she was
45.
45.
45.
Yeah, I feel like that's fine. Like you guys are both older. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys experience life. Like, I mean, go you.
Repeat the question.
Oh,
Sorry.
into the microphone. So I'm 35. I was dating a 45-year-old woman. That's a 12-year age gap. Any quarrel there?
No.
Okay. Vina?
No quarrel. I feel like if you guys were trying to feel it out, that's cool. You thought it was gonna go somewhere, that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you guys are old enough to the point where you're like, that much of an age gap doesn't really matter.
Yeah, same thing. Like, you're further into your adult life, so I don't think it's weird.
Okay.
At all, yeah.
And would you say the reverses would be fine too? 45-year-old man, 33-year-old woman?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, I think you guys did make the point earlier that, you know, it does depend on the age, you know, like a 22-year-old versus an 18-year-old, even just a 4-year age gap there, that's still, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, but you are quite in fairly different points. Well, not fairly different, but I mean, there is a bit of a difference there. Whereas like 45 to 33, it's kind of like you're both been in professionals for a while, so I think as you get older, age gap can get wider. But I'm going to give my devil's advocate take here. So I don't think there's any issue, assuming everyone has to be adults over the age of 18, but I don't think there's any issue if you're 25 or if you're 30 and you want to date a 20-year-old, you're 35, want to date a 25-year-old, you're 29, want to date a 19-year-old. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
29 and 19?
29 and 19, yes.
Oh.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Anyone want to come in and be like, challenge me?
Not really. I'm not going to challenge you, but like, I mean, I agree. I just feel like it's just like the only time when I have an issue with it is when it's like fresh out of high school, you know, like when it's like,
like
they're
the
like
barely legal thing.
barely legal, you know, like if they are like, say they're a year in college and they're pretty mature, then like maybe, but still might be a little weird from the guy's perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I would just reiterate that I don't think age necessarily dictates maturity.
Yeah, no,
and
that's fine.
And I've certainly I'm 33. You know, most of my recent relationships, dates, whatever, it's been with vast majority, like I'd say late 20s, early 30s. Like I think between like 25 and 34 has been majority of my age range. I certainly wouldn't object to dating someone who was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And just tying it into maturity, I've dealt with, I'll say dealt with. I've dealt with, talked to, gone on dates with, women who you'd think ought to have their shit together. I'm talking attorneys. I'm talking a doctor. I'm talking more fucking nurses. What's up with all the fucking nurses on the dating apps, by the way?